Hello, guys. So Carlos Queiroz has officially resigned from his role as Black Stars coach. Um, he took up the job on a short-term basis. It was always going to be for the period of the World Cup. That was the contract he signed. So he's basically just informing us that his tenure has ended. Um, and I think that it was right that he came out to communicate. And I think he did what he could do given the circumstances. He took over the job under very difficult circumstances with 59 or so days to the start of the World Cup. Only got one friendly match, went into the competition with a relatively young team and with the more experienced players in the team on their last legs for sure. So he needed to do something. He needed to work some magic. So he fell back to what he's known best and has always been very good at, which is defensive football. And he perfected it. And we saw that come to its ultimate peak in a match against England, where he played one of the best defensive football games that I've ever witnessed. But obviously, it also seemed like he had limitations. And maybe those are limitations that time could have allowed him to fix. For example, coaching the offensive side of the game. Unfortunately, I don't think he ever managed to do that. Never got enough time to get the defensive side perfectly right and then try to work on the offensive side. Maybe if he had a bit more time, who knows? There's no telling the future. But under the circumstances and with what he did, I think that Carlos Queiroz can bow out with his head held very, very high. Because we could have gone out in the group stages of this competition. He could have still bowed out and with very few people having him to blame. Because he's still got a lot of very relevant excuses for why he couldn't have done better. But I think he got right down to the work, didn't really complain about the lack of friendly matches. He just got down to work and he did the best that he could. Getting out of the group stages was a good achievement. Unfortunately, it just seemed like he had certain limitations that he couldn't get over. And it's just what it is. We ended the journey in a way that was disappointing, obviously, because he raised a lot of our hopes. But I think in the end, anybody looks back at Carlos Queiroz, you can say that you can't really blame him much for most of what happened at the World Cup. There's something in his parting words that I need to highlight. He says that the future of Ghana football will not only be dependent on what is happening on the pitch, but also what happens off the pitch. That is recognition from Carlos Queiroz that we have a lot of off-field issues, administrative issues that we need to fix if we want our football to go in the right direction. And I hope that the authorities will listen. Now we can start looking for a new coach. Maybe they can go and start re-engaging him. I'm not sure. Hervé Renard is available now because he also quit as Tunisia coach. We had a certain romantic relationship with him. We've romanticized the idea of Hervé Renard. I'm not sure, but we don't have time to waste. The the AFCON 2027 qualifiers start in September. That is in just about 2 or 3 months' time. So we need to start acting ASAP. And it is what it is. But I want to know from you guys, who would you rather have as our next Black Stars coach? If you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments.